Welcome back to another thrilling episode of Reviews Lost in a Haystack. I'm really excited for this one. I don't know if everyone knows, but my favorite comic book growing up was the X-Men. And so this comic book is the House of X. And so if you ever asked yourself what would happen if Charles Xavier, Magneto, Mr. Sinister, and Apocalypse were all on the same page? Keep watching. So this comic book, this is an epic sci-fi adventure, so if that's what you're into, keep watching. So this is Moira McTaggart. She is a mutant. Every time she dies, she goes back and is born all over again, except she has the perfect knowledge of all of her previous lives. And she shows Charles Xavier, multiple versions of the future, but there's not a time travel movie, or comic book, just so you know. And Charles Xavier, who has always been on the peace-loving, let's work with humanity side, kind of realizes that's not going to work out. And this takes place after the Genosha genocide, where 16 million mutants are killed. And he decides that him and Magneto need to work together. And so they recruit Apocalypse, who is a big bad guy, the original mutant. Mr. Sinister, who is a fan favorite. I'm hoping he shows up in the movies sooner rather than later. And what they're trying to do is to prevent getting killed by those stupid Sentinels that, if you've read other comic books, they always seem to eventually destroy the mutants. And not only that, they want their own nation where the mutants can live in peace and not continue to be harassed by those pesky humans. They always get in the way, humans. In exchange to be recognized by the United Nations, so their country, they are going to give the humans all kinds of medicine that'll cure all kinds of diseases. So they're not being militant, they're actually trying to help out. But of course, humans, things they don't understand, they're not sure if they like that idea. So this new nation is actually a mutant itself. It's called Krakoa, and it is a giant mutant that's letting other mutants live on it. So I wouldn't say this is like a full ensemble X-Men story. Really focuses on Moira McTaggart, Professor X, and Magneto. A lot of your fan favorites show up. Wolverine, Storm, Cyclops, and some newer X-Men that I'm not as familiar with because I've read a lot of the older stuff. So this kind of advances the story along and teases machines versus mutants war, where the humans are kind of not as into it. But the machines, just like, it's not Skynet, but Skynet-esque, if you're familiar with Terminator. If I was to compare this story to any other story, I think this would almost be like a Groundhog Day for X-Men, except every time we start over, there's a pretty large story to tell for each day, and then eventually it gets started over again. But I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this. This is a good example of what happens when you come together with people you don't agree with and work towards a common good. And although they don't flex those mutant muscles, Professor X makes it very clear with Magneto that if they have to, they will. He is no longer willing to sacrifice mutants to try to work with the Homo sapiens. So if you're a huge X-Men fan, I highly recommend this. I really enjoyed some of the flashbacks to memory lanes from stories in the past and really advancing the story to the future, because in a lot of X-Men comics, it seems like despite all of Professor X's good attempts to work with everyone, they keep getting let down. This is definitely an A+. This gets the Gambit paw of approval. If you liked this one or have other X-Men stories you think I should check out, please comment below. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Subscribe and hit that notification button. Because if you watch my videos, you're going to find something entertaining.